Lust is a natural human emotion, an instinctive feeling that everyone experiences at some point. But like any emotion, when it's left unchecked, it can lead to complications. These problems become even more pronounced in a world that often normalizes or glorifies lust, making it seem like an essential and unavoidable part of life. To address what some describe as a silent pandemic, it's crucial to first understand the psychology of lust. By learning about the underlying mechanisms driving these feelings, we can prevent lust from taking control and influencing our decisions in ways that don't align with our values. Here are 10 psychological facts about lust you should know. If you've ever felt overcome by lustful thoughts, don't be too hard on yourself. It's deeply connected to your biology. For most people, experiencing lust is a normal response unless you identify as asexual, in which case sexual attraction might not play a significant role in your life. At the center of this process is the hypothalamus, a small yet powerful region of the brain that acts as a command center. This part of the brain regulates essential functions like hunger, thirst, and sleep, and it also triggers the release of hormones like testosterone and gonadotropin-releasing hormone. These hormones are the primary drivers behind sexual arousal and attraction. Think of the hypothalamus as the engine that powers the feeling of lust, responding to both external and internal stimuli. Whether it's a person, an image, or even a thought, this brain region works behind the scenes to generate the intense sensations we associate with sexual desire. Lust is as ancient as humanity itself. It's not just a feeling, it's a survival mechanism. From an evolutionary standpoint, lust has always served a crucial purpose: reproduction. Our ancestors who experienced strong feelings of lust were more likely to seek out partners, reproduce, and pass on their genes to future generations. Over time, this primal force became hardwired into our biology. Even in today's modern world, where survival is less dependent on reproduction, these instincts remain deeply embedded. They can emerge unexpectedly, often in ways that feel overwhelming or even irrational. Understanding this evolutionary perspective can help us see lust not as a weakness, but as a part of our shared human history. Lust doesn't just feel good, it's designed to. This is because it activates the brain's reward system, much like addictive substances do. When you experience lustful thoughts, your brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter often called the feel-good chemical. Dopamine is the same chemical that floods the brain when we eat delicious food, achieve a goal, or indulge in a guilty pleasure. This release creates a cycle where your brain begins to crave more of the same stimulation. Over time, this reinforcement can lead to patterns of behavior where lust becomes difficult to control. Recognizing this cycle is the first step to breaking free from it and redirecting your focus toward healthier pursuits. Have you ever been so attracted to someone that they seemed flawless? That's the power of lust. It can distort your perception. Our brains are wired to respond to visual stimuli, especially those linked to attraction. Studies have shown that when we view something arousing, the pleasure centers in our brain light up. This intense response can make the object of our desire seem far more appealing than they actually are, creating an illusion that may not align with reality. This effect can lead to unrealistic expectations. For example, you might idealize someone's physical appearance while overlooking qualities that are less compatible with your values or goals. Being aware of this psychological trick can help you avoid potential disappointments in real-life interactions. Lust has a way of amplifying physical attraction to the point where it can overshadow everything else. When you're in a state of heightened arousal, your brain tends to focus on someone's physical attributes while ignoring other important aspects like their personality, habits, or behaviors. This selective attention can lead to poor judgment, especially in situations where red flags are present. For example, you might overlook warning signs in a relationship simply because your attraction feels so strong. This is why it's important to step back and consider whether your feelings are based on genuine connection or just a fleeting physical response. For some people, lust becomes a coping mechanism, a way to temporarily escape feelings of insecurity or low self-esteem. Seeking out lustful experiences can provide a short-term boost in confidence or validation. However, this high is often followed by deeper emotional lows. Research suggests that people who use lust to fill an emotional void may end up feeling worse over time, as the temporary relief doesn't address the root of their insecurities. Recognizing this pattern is key to breaking free from it. Building genuine self-worth requires looking inward and addressing the underlying feelings, rather than seeking external validation. What we find attractive isn't entirely biological. Culture plays a significant role. The media, advertising, and pop culture often use sexual imagery to capture attention and sell products. From billboards to movies, these messages can shape our ideas of beauty, desire, and even what we consider normal. This constant exposure can make lust seem not only acceptable, but essential. By becoming aware of these influences, we can start to question whether our desires are truly our own or shaped by societal expectations. In relationships, lust can be a double-edged sword. On the positive side, it can bring excitement, passion, and intimacy, helping partners feel closer. On the other hand, if lust becomes the sole focus, it can lead to problems like infidelity or a lack of emotional connection. The key to managing lust in a relationship is open communication and mutual respect. By balancing physical attraction with emotional intimacy, couples can build stronger, more meaningful connections. Lust often gets a bad reputation, but trying to completely suppress it isn't the solution. When we bottle up these feelings, they can build up and lead to frustration or unhealthy behaviors. Instead, the goal should be to understand and manage them in a balanced way. Research shows that a healthy approach to lust and sexual desire is linked to greater satisfaction in relationships. By embracing this part of ourselves, we can create deeper connections and avoid the pitfalls of suppression. If you feel like lust controls you, remember, you're in charge. The key isn't to suppress lust, but to become more conscious of it. By practicing mindfulness and self-awareness, you can redirect your energy toward meaningful goals and relationships. Ask yourself, are your actions aligned with your values? Are your feelings based on genuine connection or fleeting impulses? Reflecting on these questions can help you make decisions that truly matter. Lust is a natural part of being human, but it doesn't have to define you. By understanding its psychological roots, you can take control and build healthier relationships with yourself and others. What's your experience with lust? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to learn more, check out our video on how lust affects the brain.